Today is a warm and somewhat humid Sunday, August 24th, 2025. This is the weekend of the Railroad Museum of Riverhead Railfest. It was on yesterday and today. I'm not too far away from there. I'm in Eastport. I'm going to catch a couple of important trains with great horns. 6095 from Montauk to Penn Station is coming with 12 cars, the reverse cannonball. He'll have 509 on the point with a K5 LLA horn. And shortly thereafter, we'll have an equipment train for Southampton, which will have 518 on the point with the best K5 LA on the railroad. Here he comes, running typically late at 111 is 6095. He's really working hard with that long, heavy train. Until the late 1940s, if he went absolutely straight ahead, he'd wind up on the Eastport Manorville branch, heading up to Manorville. That horn sounded great. Well, we moved east to the East Mauritius Boulevard crossing in Eastport. We're looking west towards the Seatuck Avenue crossing where I was to get 6095. And approaching is that equipment train for Southampton with 518 leading. The K5 LA horn on this locomotive is the best out of all of them. You can hear it. And he's about to round the curve at the beginning of PT block limit. It's no longer an active block limit. That sounded nice. Shortly we'll have 6012 from Montauk with the 504. Arguably the best and loudest K5 LLA on the railroad. All right, at 153, concluding our great horn trifecta, is 6012 Jamaica Montauk with the 504 on the point. Blow that funky, sweet music K5 LLA horn. All three of those guys won the Retired Railfan Horn Guy Trophy of Excellence. Well, here I am at the museum in Riverhead, and this is what everybody's coming to see, this nicely painted SW1001. 1,000 horsepower. I call them baby GP38s, because that's what it sounded like with half the horsepower. beautiful. This is the paint scheme that the EMDs were delivered in back in the 70s. These SW1001s, the MP15ACs, the GP38-2s. Long Island Railroad needs more heritage units. Every other railroad has them. We need more of these. Come on, let's get a D30 or a DM30 in this paint scheme, the World's Fair livery and the Goodfellow livery. Maybe even the Tichy livery.
We'll take the ride then.
Got Craig here and Malik Ellis, Mr. M3 RFW. He's made about 20,500 of them. I got a long way to go to catch up to you. We got Neil, he's driving. We're taking a ride on the train. This is not my typical RFW, but it'll have to do.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I am Malik Ellis. I'll be the conductor today on this ride. So, assuming this is your first time here, so I would like to officially welcome you to the Long Island Railroad Riverhead Museum. So, this is our 1964-1965 World's Fair train with a G16 locomotive up front. So, just a couple of things before we get going. Just all you have to do is just keep your arms and legs inside the train at all time. Don't stand while the train's moving, and don't rock it as well. And just in case the base you leave, and if any items like the hat or anything falls off the train while we're in motion, just let me know as soon as possible. I'll blow my whistle repeatedly to alert Engineer Neil to stop the train. Therefore, I can pick up your item and then I'll give it to you very quickly. And then after, I think we're all good here. So
Understood, understood.
all aboard.
Okay, Engineer Neil Feldman is going to take us for a ride in history. Back there, 251. Maybe they'll make a simulator out of it. That I'd like to see. Got a whistle post. Going to take a different route this time. Maybe you'll go out on the railroad tracks. He's got that intense concentration like he's running an ACS 64 down the Northeast Corridor 125 miles an hour. More like 125 feet per minute. No, even that's too fast. 125 inches a minute. Well, this is what originally ran at the 1965 World's Fair, this train. And I did ride on this as a kid. Is that Raphael there? Yellow over red. An approach. See a New York Central train running on that. I think that's an O-gauge layout. Ooh, sorry, Union Pacific. Great. It is that 251 cab. Looks like a turntable span, I think. Might be the last revolution here. What a ride. The hell with the next gen of sellers. This is better than any of them. Ah, man. Hey, Neil, get a K5 LLA on there, will you?
Yeah.
You know what that sounds like? The Electric City trolley horn. That's what that sounds like.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
All right.
All right. I heard a lot of good horns before I got here.
Well, we're having a nice time at the museum today. So today, first thing we're going to see in this yard, we're going to see number 101.
Yeah.
This is owned by the Long Island Railroad. This is not a piece of our equipment, but they were very kind and they brought it down to Riverhead just for this weekend. So this locomotive is very special because it's called something called a heritage unit. So it's been painted in the original paint scheme that it came to the railroad in. And this engine is built in 1977 for the railroad specifically, and it has stayed on the island for its entire life. It's pretty cool.
It sounds good.
The story of it's pretty interesting. It was leased out to a freight railroad on the island, and then as that lease ended, they arranged some workings with the railroad to have her painted back up into this paint scheme. And yeah, that's about that. It was a really fun story. We found out that this engine was coming in literally Thursday night, and we got really excited and happy because we weren't totally sure if the railroad was going to say yes, but yeah, it's a nice gorgeous engine. If you guys want to take pictures closer to it, just try to stay back from that rail out there, that farther rail.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, and you can do that at the end of the toll, or you can do it whenever you want. The engine will be here until later today, so feel free. But
Is that a 12-cylinder engine? Sounds like a GP. I call them baby Jeep 38s.
yeah, it's SW.
Yeah.
It's an SW for specifically. It's built by EMD, and it's an SW 1001. And its role is pretty much just to run around yards and move cars around, move engines around, light freight moves, stuff like that. Yeah, but she's almost 50 years old, which is a fun bit.
Sounds great.
But yeah, all right. I think we can go on to the next part of our tour. Okay. But these are called M1s. If you guys rode the railroad before like 2002, you definitely rode in one of these. These are called M1s. They were built by the Bud Railcar Company. And we're going to walk in and I will tell you the rest of the spiel.
I've been in a lot of these M1s.
And they started building them in 1968 and they built the last one in 1972. These were built specifically to replace the Long Island Railroad's very varied and weird fleet of electric cars that they had before before the late 1960s, and I believe this was one of the first major purchases that the MTA did for the Long Island Railroad, or made for the Long Island Railroad after they purchased it a few years earlier. So yeah, these were in service from 1968 until 2006. This specific unit came to us in 2008, and it's also very special because it went to Grand Central Station in the late 90s as a part of... Some of you guys may know that the Long Island Railroad recently opened their addition to Grand Central Madison. They attached to Grand Central on the Long Island. They announced that in the 90s. It took them 25 years. But yeah, they announced that. They brought it down there. They brought it over to the upper portion of Grand Central Station. Part of the advertising, part of the announcement and press release. So these are special because they've been in Grand Central.
Some of you folks may look at this and say to yourself, wait, but I've ridden on these before, in fact, very recently. These are very similar to the cars that are currently in service, which are M3s. This, however, is the original. The M1s were purchased by the MTA and built by the Bud Company, as Carlo explained, as the first big purchase when they took over the Long Island Railroad. However, M1s are also used, were also used on the Metro North, and the M3s are also used on the Metro North as well, after they took over service on for Penn Central. But if you step on further down here and everything like that, you can take a little detail here. The wallpaper, which is very interesting, little circles, little eagles, that is actually the New York State seal. So when the MTA bought this, they really wanted to show off, hey, this is the state of New York now. This is no longer being run by the Pennsylvania Railroad, which had previously owned and operated the Long Island Railroad. This is now New York State. And so, if you take a look at the wallpaper, very 70s-esque, you will see the New York State seal on it. Tripping over my words here, I'm so sorry.
I remember they used to have roll signs on those.
Yes, these are roll signs.
Some major.
If you guys look over here, this is one of the very small differences between M1s and M3s. This little box right here are roll signs. These were very common on old subway cars, but they're featured in the M1s and they're not featured in the M3s. Also, the only difference, or not the only, one of the small differences is that M3s towards the middle have a big, was it like a big AC unit or something?
Air duct,
Yes.
intake duct.
Yeah, a big AC unit in the middle that is not featured here in the M1s, as you can see. So we can keep walking down, and we'll let you guys kind of take a look. We have another car as well, so we'll let you guys just kind of wander around, and then we'll come back in a couple minutes towards the front, and we'll show you guys the rest of the yard. So head on down.
All right. I noticed things missing, but because I'm used to the M3s, but I love these.
Not gonna lie, my last memory of actually seeing an M1 set in service, I actually did saw one on the Ronkonkoma branch main line by Calhoun Avenue back in like 2006, I believe.
Well, I remember they debuted on the Huntington Electrics back in 1971. I remember those.
Nice.
The only time I rode these was sometime in 2007 or 8 when I went to Penn Station for the very first time on, I think, my 7th or 8th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've definitely ridden these M1s a lot, especially back when I used to live in Brentwood.
So,
Yeah,
Craig, do you ever stand by this window very much?
I do.
Oh, he definitely does. Believe me when I say that.
I love them myself, actually. A lot of people don't like the M3s because of the handles, holding the handles down.
And also the fact that it's so cramped in there. I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
I can honestly fit in there.
that's why they all have the door open mostly. So.
Yeah.
I can definitely fit in there.
Yeah. Subway style. Silverliner 5 style. Raphael is going to continue the... Oh, it feels so much better. It was so hot in there.
Carlo, just watch the end. Just make sure no one strays off.
So, Nia, when are they going to retrieve that 101?
We think it's coming later today, but we're not 100% positive right now. There was a change engine move that went to Ronkonkoma this morning. But after that, we're not sure. We think it's going to be after the first Greenport scoot that comes through.
Well, there's one at 305, I think.
Yeah, it might be behind 6952, but we're not 100% positive on that.
Oh, okay. That'd be neat to see that get carted out of here.
Oh, yeah.
We're going
All
to
right,
do the...
folks, if you look over here on your left, you'll see some wheels, you'll see a chassis, and you'll see this big box-looking thing. That right there is the tender for Long Island Railroad locomotive number 39. It is the Railroad Museum of Long Island's only steam locomotive, and it is one of 2 G5s left in in existence. Sorry, one of two Long Island Railroad Chief 5s. This locomotive was built for the Long Island Railroad by the Pennsylvania Railroad, which owned the railroad at the time. You'll realize something's missing, and that is the boiler. The boiler is currently in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, and once we meet a certain donation threshold, the rest of this will all go to Strasburg as well, to hopefully one day restored and run at the Strasburg Railroad. And we walk a little further down over here. My man Kenny is going to tell you all about this terrific blue and yellow painted locomotive over here too.
Alrighty, so here we have RS3 number 1556. She was built in about 1955 and retired in 1977. And again, she's the RS3 locomotive. She's painted in MTA blue and yellow paint scheme, painted by me, Rafael, and Carlo, wherever he is.
Nice job. Nice job.
And she was also in the end of steam event, which will bring us to behind you another P72 that was also in the end of steam event. So 39, P72, and 1556, all in the end of steam event, all in this little triangle area here.
Amazing.
Now, folks, you want to step over here? We're going to let you guys in. We're going to sneak you guys in so you can get some close-up shots of 1556. Yeah.
Just only thing we ask is just refrain from climbing on any of these.
Yes.
Because it's,
Look, don't touch.
be a little bit.
I mean, I can't blow the horn?
Unfortunately,
What horn?
Step on in, guys.
You can try to, but it won't work.
Get up close in person. Let's train.
Treat it like it's wet.
Ah, yeah. I remember the sound of these things.
Sorry. Or the pictures you want.
make sure we're on the
I think she looks pretty spit. I like her.
Is Neil here?
You guys can get closer if you want.
Yeah,
It doesn't bite. It's a locomotive.
But it's so beautiful when you look at it.
Why was it decided to paint in this scheme instead of like the World's Fair scheme or the Goodfellow scheme?
I can explain that.
Yeah, please.
So she's been in the World's Fair scheme for about 30 years. That orange, look, we love the orange and gray. It's gorgeous, but she's been in that for a good 30 years. Change it up a little bit. She'll next time she gets painted, which hopefully won't be that soon, but soon enough. We want her in the swoop, like the World's Fair swoop. But that's basically variety is the spice of life. Also, it's the 60th anniversary of the MTA's purchase of the Long Island Railroad.
And if you got a problem with it not being
Oh
an
my God!
orange and
Shut
blue,
up!
What's
Too
that?
bad. Too bad. If you got a problem with it not being an orange and gray, not you, Tim. Anyone watching the video, too bad.
It's what I grew up with.
So,
These little things could scoot on the
This over
scoot.
here, this is our baggage car.
This is a baggage car. It's called a B60, if I remember correctly. It was built around 1927. The Long Island Railroad used to use these to move baggage of all types. A lot of the time when people were going way out east, it was kind of a long train ride, so people would bring, their suitcases full of all their junk and stuff, all the good stuff. This came here in the mid-1980s with a group that was trying to restore 39, who was also in the same yard. Currently, she is just our tool car. So we have equipment, paint, stuff when we're working on an engine like 1556. We have our paint, we have our sprayers, we have our tools and stuff to fix anything in that car. And then also we have the garage right next to it, which is our tool shop. So we have a lathe in there, we have a Bridgeport, we have all that.
What color was the state fair colored?
So the World's Fair was orange and gray.
Orange and gray.
Just sort of a dark gray and then a nice bright orange. Honestly, if you look up, it was a very spiffy thing. We really liked it. It's just, there's very little representation of this era of the Long Island Railroad. Because she wore this from 1971 to 1978, and there's basically no Long Island equipment that's wearing this piece. Or
I love
locomotives.
love the stack you put on there. That looks really good.
This is a diesel.
Yes, this is a diesel train.
Bro, you want to boom that?
1,600 horsepower. Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Right over here on our right is our BM60. It's one of two left. Baggage mail car is a combination car. Over here on the left side is the baggage car. On the right side is the mail car. Now, mail was one of the most profitable reasons for passenger trains to keep operating. So when a lot of railroads lost the mail contracts, that's why the passenger service in the United States really declined. So the BM60 was often seen on one of the longer routes and everything that would go out to Greenport, to Montauk and everything like that. They would take the mail at the originating station, like Penn Station, and then at every stop they would get off and they would, you know, take the mail out and everything, and that would get sent, and that's how it would be dispersed. And so we'll even a little further down. Oh, also not to mention the 9/11 murals here. Originally that started going on in 2011 for the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. And every couple of years or so, they keep repainting them. So next year, they're going to come back and they're going to do a new repaint to commemorate the 25th anniversary. These are locomotives. That was painted by these two volunteers over here, Carlo and Penny. They did a very good job on that last year and everything. So I'll let one of these two go on about it.
So again, this is a GE 25 tonner locomotive. It is a switcher locomotive, so it really didn't leave the yard at Morris Park. Sometimes you would see them in Hillside, but it is painted in the bicentennial scheme. And we got this in, Carlo, what year did we get this?
We got this in 2006.
2006, yes.
Yes, that's the one Oyster Bay got theirs too.
Yes, and there's her other two sisters, so this is number 399. Her other two sisters, number 397 and 398, are in the Oyster Bay Road Museum in Oyster Bay.
Oh yeah.
So, this one, she does run. We don't run her, sadly. But if you do want to see a running 25-tonner locomotive, again, Oyster Bay Road Museum.
Sure, yeah.
That boy.
Yeah. The piece of RMLI equipment that we're going to be looking at today, this is double-decker number 200. This is a very special car.
Trailer.
This is the first all-aluminum passenger car built in America. This is also the first double-decker passenger car built, metal double-decker passenger car built in America. This is a car of firsts. It was built in 1932. She's over 80 years old, and all things considered, the aluminum has kept her in surprisingly good shape. She is in need of a repaint right now. But so this was built in conjunction with the American Aluminum Company, or Aluminum Company of America. Yeah, Alcoa, that's it. Aluminum Company of America and the Pennsylvania Railroad. They wanted to trial doing double-decker cars on the Long Island Railroad because we had so much passenger service going into New York City. So they built these to fit into Penn Station, and while also substantially increasing passenger capacity. So the way these work was really weird. So see where this window is? We'd sit down here, but the walkway was right about here. So you'd walk right through the middle.
Go up or down?
Up here in the middle, and you'd step down into your seat or up into the upper seats. Very weird. People didn't really, the crews apparently really didn't like that because it was a pain to clean. I imagine they didn't have vacuums and stuff, so you couldn't really suck out all the stuff that would get down there. There's stories of women not liking to ride in the higher seats because you're looking up, people can look up, and that wasn't, no good. So these didn't have a crazy long career. This prototype was built in 1932. They built another prototype in 1939, and then they built the rest of the fleet in 1948, 1947, 1948, 1949. Totaling about 60, and by 1972, all of them were out of service. All of them left service, and all of them were scrapped except this one, which is the prototype of the class.
Yeah. This one and 201 were the trailers. Everything else was like a power unit.
Bingo.
Cab or motorized trailer.
Yes, absolutely. Another thing about these, the M1s that we walked in at the beginning of this tour, actually,
You're more than welcome.
Yeah. The M1s that we saw at the beginning of this tour actually replaced these, and a lot of other weird electric passenger cars that were in service on the Long Island Railroad right before they introduced the standardized passenger cars that we have now.
Yep.
Very, very interesting history of this. Like I said, she needs a repaint. It's a process because it's aluminum and takes a bit.
Boston and Maine.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have now left the Railroad Museum of Long Island. Welcome to the Twin Forks chapter of the National Railway Historical Society. 1, 2, 3, 4, and plenty more on the other side, which we cannot take you to. But these 4 publicly accessible cars are owned by the Twin Forks chapter of the National Railway Historical Society. Right over here you'll see is a former Pittsburgh and Lake Erie boxcar. This was used in grain service up near, guess where? Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. The P&LE was a subsidiary of the New York Central Railroad, and so plans are to paint this in the New York Central's famous jade green scheme. Now, if you go a little further on down here, you'll notice these 2 bright red cabooses.
Mopac.
These cabooses are not Long Island Railroad. They are not even from New York. They are not even from the East Coast. These are from Missouri. These are Missouri Pacific cabooses, number 13388 and 13456. These, along with the boxcar you see over here, were brought to Long Island in the 1980s by a man named Fred Cohen. Fred Cohen was an entrepreneur, and he had products that he wanted to display. His idea was, I get the boxcar and the two cabooses, and I can send them out across the country to showcase my products. Unfortunately, those plans went south, and they were stuck on a siding not too far from here. And there they lay for years in some little overgrown siding out in Riverhead. A couple of years ago, the property was being redeveloped, so the guys at Twin Forks decided, hey, you know what? We should save these cars. They're pretty valuable and they're historically significant, and they're a lot different. And so, thus, the move was made. The move was made here to the Riverhead yard, and here they are. Now, over here is a Boston and Maine Osgood Bradley coach. This is the last one in existence. These coaches were used throughout New England on the Boston and Maine, New Haven. They were everywhere. And now there is one, and it is this one right here. In the 50s, when passenger service was declining across the country, with automobiles and highways and air travel really kind of taking a lot of the spotlight, a lot of passenger service declined, and so the Boston and Maine sought to get rid of their passenger coaches, to which they gave to the Long Island Railroad, who was the only railroad that was actively seeking more passenger cars. And so, here it is, the last one of its kind.
I think they call these American Flyer
They
cars.
did call them American Flyers, yeah, and there was a model train, like an O-scale model train, design that was based off of these.
There used to be a couple of yellow work cars stashed in the weeds at Holborn Yard. They just recently took away, like in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think that was last summer they took them away.
Yeah, they were.
So that makes this one the last one.
Yeah.
Yes, question.
All right, we're in for a treat now. It's 5 after 3. And the Greenport Scooter's coming, 6950. Ron Conkerman of Greenport. He's got D30AC403. Get to see him pass by this beautiful engine. Limit station here is LD.
Yeah. This is the 1964 World's Fair train. This was built for the it was built in 1964 for the New York World's Fair that was held in Queens, and it was part of the Long Island Railroad exhibit at that event for the year of 1964 and 1965.
Yeah.
After that, it was actually sold to Grumman. Yeah, it was sold to Grumman, and it was sat at one of their development bases in their airfields, and it was used for family events, family picnics and stuff. They had that for a few years, for a good like 20, 30 years, honestly. And then they when they left, I believe it was in Bethpage. When it left there, it went to the town that Patcho. Went there, and then they weren't sure what to do with it. They asked us, they said, well, when in Rome, so we put it on the ground. That was around 2000, and it's been here ever since.
So Neil, what kind of engine is in that?
So it's a four-cylinder Wisconsin engine.
Ah.
I don't mean to be rude.
you want to maybe
It's not the original Wisconsin engine. When Grumman acquired this from the Long Island Railroad, the original engine blew. So Grumman went with a larger engine. So the hood on the G16 locomotive itself got modified with the larger hood.
Is that supposed to be an F unit or a Fairbanks Morse C liner, or what is that?
F7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. World's Fair livery. Well, perfect. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I was on it when I was about maybe 10 years old. So it's the first time I've seen it up close since like 60 something years ago. Oh,
Okay.
well. Just yesterday, the other day. That's all. All right.
Does run. Okay, this HK Porter actually runs with wood.
Wow. That's not Brooklyn Eastern District Terminal, is it?
No, this is not.
Oh.
We do have the BEDT 16, which is on the other side of the property, though.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I knew it was here. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
And the rest of this is going to get painted in the bicentennial scheme.
Oh, okay. So
This
this
has
is...
an original Wisconsin engine. This was built by the Miniature Train Corporation in 1946. This was actually part of the iconic miniature railway. And then
Oh, wow.
we acquired this engine like 4 or 5 years ago.
So how long will it take to put a new engine and get this running again?
Well, we have an engine in it now. We're just waiting for the rest of the paint job to be done.
And the other engine is going to be taken out of service.
The other engine will be taken out of service and it will be completely refurbished and rebuilt.
Oh, okay. Same color scheme?
So it will be refurbished in the World's Fair scheme, the other one, whereas this one will be in the bicentennial scheme.
Okay, should look good. Look good. Looks almost like a Conrail engine.
For now it does, yeah, until we get
Minus the logos.
Yeah, so we're gonna get the white stripe, we're gonna get the red pinstripe, and we're gonna get the Long Island on it. So this is engine number 702.
Okay. And the other one is...
701.
Okay. All right, good. Now, we had a great tour of that RS3, that beautiful RS3 in the New York State colors, but nobody knows who the project manager is. Well, you're looking at him. What do you have to say about what you've done with that engine? What's your next step with that engine?
So obviously the guys are still doing the finishing touches on the engine. There's still a little bit of primer showing. They still have to add some layers of paint, finishing up the decals on it. But I'm going to give those guys credit. They did a very good job.
They did.
Basically.
They did.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
You're going to put the M logo on the cab and all that stuff. And
Yes.
I hope you get a good horn for that engine.
Eventually.
Yeah. No, if you want to be authentic, get the M3 one. Definitely
That
get the
would
M3
be the
one.
right horn for it, yes.
Absolutely. So, all right. This is the man. Give him credit for that RS3 looking the way that it looks.
Thank you.
Spick and span and scintillating. All right. Now, what is this? Is that the actual 251 cab here? Ah,
We do.
it's air conditioned.
We take donations. I mean, obviously we take donations.
One of the fleet of great GP38-2s the Long Island has. They still run a few on the New York and Atlantic.
It gets even better. Take a look inside.
All right, I'm going in. It's been a while since I've been in one of these. Oh, what is this?
This is in my chaos of aging and destruction.
This is our railroad simulator, basically running from Greenport to Riverhead.
Ah,
There's still a lot that we're trying to do with it, but we actually want to put Train Sim World on here, like what Oyster Bay had. And what we
Yeah.
want to do is make these controls actually work with the simulator
Yeah, I was gonna
instead
say.
of that.
it's like with Oyster Bay, I was running on those
Yeah.
simulators.
Because it definitely, I assumed it was custom software or something, but it actually doesn't take that much
Ah,
to get actual controls to work with a computer. What you need to set it up for is called an HID device, hardware interface device.
it's going in the water. Oh,
Oops.
oh. It made the main line a little longer. Oh. That's all right. I heard that some engineers qualified east of Montauk. So, well, if you look on the road and the pavement behind the bumper block, you can see scrapes in the pavement.
Yeah,
And they're not from automobiles, I don't think.
So yeah, to get these controls to actually work, you got to set them up with what's called MIDI. And you basically have to map them to whatever you want to have them do.
Yeah.
Yeah, MIDI mapping.
Yeah, pretty similar control to like a...
Yeah, that's the rail driver controller. It'll work with most simulators, if not all of them.
Okay.
I think it's a little over $100 or so on like eBay or Amazon. It's very affordable. So yeah, just wait for it to load. There we go. So yeah, this in easy mode will let you go forward.
Yeah, leaving Greenport with steam. Whoops.
Spin around.
A lot of crossings in Greenport.
And if you look down here, you can see the speed in real time.
And I think it can't go very fast on this line.
It can go pretty quick. Just bring it back a little if you want to reduce your speed. There you go.
Rod slapping.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Oh, now you're slowing down.
How fast can this thing go? I guess
I've taken it as high as 50, I think.
crappy whistle blowing. I can
Yeah.
do better than that. Me of all people.
Yeah.
Pick up full speed ahead.
Oh, and you're speeding.
Oh.
Bring it back just a little.
Oh, it's 4. I'm looking at the upper right hand corner.
Yeah, yeah.
This thing is very sensitive.
Yeah, the controls are very sensitive. So, yeah, it's a very nice simulator. Not as fancy as what Oyster Bay has, but it's pretty nice. But I would love to see Train Sim World put on this someday.
How many different programs you got on this? Looks like you had quite a few.
Yeah. Train Sim 2012 seems like the only one that we have right now.
Yeah.
We've had Train Sim Classic, and maybe a couple other different ones.
Yeah, my favorite train sim route is Providence to Boston.
Oh, great route.
125, well, 150, well, soon 160. They're starting to run those new trains on Thursday.
They're doing speed testing with them?
They're supposed to do 160 in those 150 zones that the older sellers did.
So that means they're going to need to do some upgrades with like the cab signaling and whatnot.
Probably if they, I think they've already done that.
To support it, yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, even the horn lever is a little sensitive. It has broken off a couple times. Yeah, you just gotta be gentle with it.
Oh, here's a Long Island Railroad caboose. Warmer.
Right there.
Oh, wow. I think that was running in Brooklyn pretty late in its career.
Yes.
Brooklyn Eastern District Terminal. We're in the visitor center now, and there's quite a bit of activity here. Seen some rather incredible locomotives, all kinds. This is O gauge. Here comes a C420 in O gauge in the World's Fair livery. Look at that. Remember those? I remember those. Very crispy sound those engines had. That's not the only Long Island Railroad engine on this layout. This is probably my favorite Long Island Railroad engine, this Fairbanks Morse Sealiner, the 2400 horsepower version. They didn't haul freight to my knowledge, but they were pretty powerful. Yeah, that's the 2000 horsepower version of the Sealiner. That's the 2400 horsepower version. Remember, they were big, they sounded loud, they shook windows, they were really cool. That's the baby Trainmaster, H1644. Kind of interesting to see that F unit pulling a train when they were mainly power packs. The rail diesel cars, I rode on them once on a round trip to Patchogue. There's a GE, was that a 44 tonner pulling a freight? Here's an RDC.